Gentlemen, how do you find it here?
It will work for us. But our goal must be to scatter our operations. To live and work among the people we protect, just as Altair ibn La'ahad once counseled.
Well, until that time,
Altair.
it's yours as you see fit.
Edward, Captain Woodes Rogers survived his wounds. He has since returned to England, shamed and in great debt, but no less a threat.
I will finish that job when I return. You have my word.
But where are you going? What did that letter say?
Evening, Anne.
Edward?
I'll be sailing for London in the next few months. I'd be a hopeful man if you were beside me.
England's the wrong way around the globe for an Irishwoman.
Will you stay with the assassins?
No, I haven't got that kind of conviction in my heart. You?
In time, aye. When my mind is settled and my blood is cooled.
Sail ho! Coming into the cove!
An English ship. Second, I thought I was going to take control of them.
And if you learn to keep settled in one place for more than a week, you'll make a fine father too.
Damn near Seer Areola. Classic.
Of all the money that I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I count. So felt the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, here I had, they're sorry for my going, and all
Playable? It is playable.
Let's move!
But since it falls unto my lot that I should write and you, I'll gently,
Glad I'm recording this.
softly,
I'm not sure how loud it is or how loud my voice is, but this is a wonderful song.
night and joy be with you all.
Hey, stop glitching out over there. Little girl, stop glitching out.
And joy be with
Father, did you always know how to sail a boat?
The Jackdaw is a ship, Jenny, not a boat.
But did you always know?
No. Oh. No, I learned after leaving Bristol.
After you left Mother?
Well, I didn't leave without saying goodbye, that is. It was an arrangement, you see, between your mother and me.
She said you left her. She said you always talked about sailing a boat and making money in the New World.
I did always want to sail a ship. That's true. But not for a lark. To support us. To take care of her. And you.
Not me. Mother said you didn't know about me. She said you wrote only once a year and that she never knew where to find you.
That's all true, and I'm sorry for that. If I'd known earlier, I might have come home. I hope that I will.
Well, you were busy. That's what I think.
I was, but that wouldn't have mattered.
Can I steal your boat?
Boat? I see no boat here. Do you?
See no boat here.
I mean ship, obviously. I don't see the difference anyway.
Can't be doing a worse job than me.
Ah, it's a very simple one, Jenny. A ship can carry a boat, but a boat cannot carry a ship.
Why then, everything's a ship. Large and small. But for my toy boat, the one I
Then
take
everything's a
back
ship.
with me.
Alright, smartass.
That's a clever way of seeing it. Is it hard to talk about Caroline, Jenny? About your mother?
No. She passed some years ago. I miss her, but it's all right.
Was she in pain?
I don't know. I don't think so. She was very happy for quite some time. Then, not so happy. I didn't see her much after that. Then, she was gone.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you.
It's all right. You're here. And we're on an adventure.
Only a little one, I hope. I can't
Seems
handle
like
too
it's a
many more
dream
surprises.
almost. It doesn't seem
Think we'll see
real.
a whale?
Yes, there's a very good chance.
And what about pirates? Will I see pirates?
No. Not much chance of that, I think.
Oh, that's rather sad. I
The
should
great
have
age of
liked to
piracy
see
has
one.
ended. Or the golden age of
Tell you what,
piracy.
Jenny. As soon as these winds die a little, I'll let you steer the jackdaw. One little trick at the helm before sundown.
Yay!
Hey, there's a whale. Buy the book. Prizes, plunder, and adventure. That's the platinum. Ooh, platinum 65 is in the bag. We're gonna watch it again. This is more appropriate to like talk about the platinum than just this Edward chilling on the. Yeah, let's watch the credits again. Anyway, I'm gonna turn the game audio down. Thanks, Hawks. Oh, it feels good. Okay, history with Assassin's Creed. So this is my 5th Assassin's Creed Platinum. I have the Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, 2, and this. And now that I think about it, I got the Platinum trophies in roughly chronological order. I got Odyssey, then Origins, then Valhalla, then 2, then this. And those are roughly in chronological order. But anyway. So my experience with the Assassin's Creed games at first is the more modern take on it, like the one that's heavy with RPG mechanics, which a lot of longtime fans don't really care for. All things considered, I like the direction Assassin's Creed is going. Odyssey and Valhalla are my favorite ones.
Not me.
Well,
Said you didn't know about
let me get back to that. In terms of gameplay, Odyssey and Valhalla are my favorite ones. Origins is a bit bare bones, I think. It's kind of like this weird kind of in-between stage. And 2 is easily the worst in terms of gameplay. It is so clunky. It feels like Ezio is like a pregnant cow that randomly just magnetically sticks to walls at, like for like some points, you know? I want to say it was so frustrating when I would like fall and like lose half my health and have to use one of my potions to heal myself. I'm pretty sure gravity did like 10 times the amount of damage to me that the enemies actually did in Assassin's Creed 2. We're not here to shit on Assassin's Creed 2. Let's talk about things this game does well before I talk about like my final verdict. I love Edward Kenway. I fucking love this guy. I love how basic his motivation is at the start of the game. He's like, I want to be rich and I want to be powerful. I can dig it.
That's a clever
Pretty much every living thing can dig it. You know, like the will to power and all that. So it's not really hard to identify with him. They're like, man, I want to be rich and powerful
about your mother.
and a pirate, you know. He doesn't really have a very complicated motivation, but he does have a clear motivation. And he's very simple, but I think it works. And his voice actor definitely sells it. The atmosphere. It is a joy to just sail around and do nothing. The shanties. I love the shanties. I absolutely love them. I listen to them in my car sometimes. Some of them are pretty like, they're like jovial. Some of them are fairly somber. Some of them are, they really get you pumped and want to play. Ezio Moore, by watching everywhere, he is easy second in my book. So like the character of Ezio and the writing and the dialogue is great. I love it. I don't mean to say I like Edward better than anybody else. I have a soft spot in my heart for Cassandra. But the gameplay, like there's a lot that drags Assassin's Creed 2 down. Like the combat is so clunky. Sometimes, like even up until the end of the game, I wasn't entirely sure when I could assassinate and when I couldn't. There were times I would get in combat and I could assassinate like 6 people in a row. And there were other times I would get in combat and I would equip the hidden blade, and he would just hit them with it, and it's like, oh, okay, smoke bomb. It's smoke bomb time. But anyway, the audio. So the seagulls, the sound of the creaking of the ship, the waves, just everything. It just adds to the atmosphere. It really makes you feel like you're in the Caribbean in like the 1700s, just gallivanting around with your mates. So I love that, and I love the weather system. It's nothing spectacular, but because it's almost always outside, and because it's such a big part, like I like the storm mechanic. I like that the sea is sometimes this hostile place. Like it's not just this endlessly inviting location for you to just enjoy yourself in. I like it's got its own personality, and sometimes it kind of works against you.
She may not.
It was like the scene that was like, oh, okay.
Is a Kenway. What's wrong, Nathan?
I can't see the stage.
Up we go.
I can't see the stage.
How's that?
Fine.
It's a small miracle this guy isn't like hounded by the English authorities. But anyway, research. It's abundantly clear there's a lot of research done for clothing that's period accurate. Even like the way people speak, the instruments they would have available to them at the time. I was reading about the people that sing the sea shanties. So the people that sing the sea shanties are like professionally like trained, classically trained vocalists. And they have a version where they sing like to their best ability. And they had to kind of like rein it in a bit because they're supposed to be pirates, and pirates aren't these like classically trained things. So although it sounds good, it sounds like amateurish. You know, it's a lot that attention to detail that I love about it. In other words, the presentation is done very well. The writing. I love the similes and the metaphors that they have. And I also love that almost every pirate is English. So in the real world, almost every pirate was English, because almost every pirate was a privateer in the employ of England who, because of their peace with France, basically said, "Oh, hey, we're not gonna privateer anymore. So all you privateers, you basically have like 3 months to turn yourselves in, or to like ask for clemency. And after those 3 months, if you keep privateering, we're gonna consider you pirates, and we're gonna come after you." So yeah, little known fact: almost every pirate was English, and every pirate you meet has an English accent. It's not just a thing created by what was his name? Robert Shaw, when he played Long John Silver in the 50s. Almost every pirate was English. Also, a tip of the hat to the research. The dialogue is good. The dialogue's always good. I have yet to play an Assassin's Creed game that just had awful dialogue. I think Valhalla was pretty base. Like Valhalla, but it kind of makes sense because everyone's a Viking and basically no one is well educated. This was the years before education even existed. Presentation. I kind of talked about this, but I'm going to talk about it again. Why is it not 60 FPS? You know, like Like, how hard is it to make a patch that brings it up to 60 FPS? I mean, it runs at 60 FPS on the PC, and I'm playing on the PS5, you know? It's... Ubisoft recently teased that AC Origins was going to have a 60 FPS patch, and I was like, okay, that game's like 4 years old. Like how hard is it to make a 60 FPS patch? I've never done it, you know? But, like... this is a game made for the PS3. I'm playing it on the PS5. It can't be that resource intensive to make 60 FPS. Like, I don't know. I really wish consoles would give you more options, like graphical fidelity. Like, I don't see why they don't. You know, they're basically built like computers anyway. Okay, so that's all the good. Let's talk about the bad. It's not even really the bad, but it's definitely things I think are shortcomings. The combat feels good and tight. The combat feels... The combat has an ebb and flow to it that I haven't really seen in another Assassin's Creed game, except maybe Valhalla. But Valhalla, like, once you have 2 spears, and you have the ability to, like, wield 2-handed weapons with one hand, the game's basically over. 2 spears will take out anyone and anything. Like, and 2 spears with, like, poison will just demolish anything. Like, it'll just kill anything. Like, you get 2 spears, and you get that ability, the game's basically over. Like, it's so overpowered. But Valhalla doesn't really have that difficult combat. At least there's some variety in Valhalla. In this game, Smoke Bomb is still OP. Smoke Bomb can take out like 10 dudes, and you can carry so many of them. And counter and attack is the way to go. Just like AC2, counter attack will instantly kill anybody, no matter what your sword is, or no matter what kind of weapon you have or what level it is. Counter and attack will kill anything in one hit. So I didn't even really notice the difference when you upgraded your equipment. Like, I didn't really notice like the strength, because I would just, if I'm using my sword, I'm countering and attacking every time, or I'm instantly killing after I use a smoke bomb, or I'm assassinating them. Like, the strength of your weaponry basically doesn't matter. You can pretty much ignore it. I think it's worth it to upgrade your pistols, so you can just kill everybody in one shot. But there's some enemies you'll just never be able to kill in one shot, just because, like, the way they are, like the brutes. So combat's okay if very simple. Thank God they fixed that awful mechanic in Assassin's Creed 2. So in Assassin's Creed 2, you had to be in like a certain mode, and you had to be blocking before you could like counter. Like, it was such a pain in the ass. Here, it's just one button to counter, and after you counter, you can hit. Immediately after you countered, you can hit, and it'll instantly kill whoever you blocked. As long as you get the timing down. AC2, it was never really clear when you would counter, but once you guarded, it would instantly kill them. So you kind of get a feel for it, but it's just so clunky, because you have to like lock on, and then you have to like counter, and then it's such a pain. This is way better, way smoother. That's not really the bad. That's actually a big improvement. Ship combat. I thought I would hate ship combat. I didn't really care for ship combat in Odyssey. I didn't really care. I definitely didn't care for ship combat in Origins. Ship combat in Origins is probably one of the worst gameplay mechanics I've ever played in my life. Oh my lord! Like, I'm so glad you only did it like 2 or 3 times in the whole game, but oh my lord. Ship combat in here is amazing, and it blows my mind that Origins and Odyssey come after this, and they suck so hard. Like, this is awesome. Like, the ship combat here is a lot of fun, and thank God it's fun, because you're doing it for like half the game. I did it probably more than I would do it otherwise, because I got to get the trophy for upgrading the Jackdaw, and the best way to get money in this game is just to get ships, send them out to get supplies, bring them back. Like, everything revolves around the ship combat if you want to advance your character. Well, except for crafting, because then you gotta like hunt down animals and shit, but it's too easy. Just, hey, I need 2 of these skins. Where are they? Google? Okay, I'll go here. Like, it's very, very easy. But the ship combat is a lot of fun, and the legendary ships are genuinely tense. Like, they really are, like, they're a challenge even when you're maxed out. Like, it's not just, hey, max out your stuff and they're easy. No, they don't go down easy at all. Especially that one, oh my god, that one with the mortar, the one with the mortar that just like never stopped. He just constantly fired mortars at you, and it wasn't clear where they were gonna hit. And even when you're guarding, it still takes out like an entire bar of health. It's just unreal. And he has a stupid amount of health. It's ridiculous. You basically have to get up right in his face and like stay behind him as much as possible, and just hope you can do it long enough that you kill him before he kills you. That was the true final boss of the game. What was the legendary mortar ship? I forget what it was called. The other three weren't that bad. I think it only took me like one or two tries to get those, but the mortar guy took me like 10 or 15 tries. He was like so much harder than the other ones. It's like, are you sure? Like, it seemed weird to call them all the same thing. Like they were all legendary ships. It's like 3 legendary ships and one like, you know, super legendary. They're fun, but to get to them, you do need to grind to upgrade the Jackdaw. But if you're sailing and not fast traveling to your different like story modes, you're gonna get in conflict and you're gonna fight some ships. So you're gonna have some materials and you're gonna have a crew and you're gonna be able to, you know, salvage the ships or take the ships, send them out on like you're going to have something to play with. That being said, I think it's something like 300,000 reals you need, thousands of metal and wood. You need a lot to upgrade the Jackdaw, like a lot. Like there's probably enough material to build like 25 ships on the Jackdaw right now. But if you want to do the legendary ship fights, you gotta upgrade it at least a little bit, or you can just use the glitch. If you want to know about the glitch, look it up. Essentially, you leave combat right when the cutscene plays, and you get on the ship as Edward, and it's like it's a glitched version. But if you kill everybody on the ship, and then you go back to your ship and fire one shot, it'll destroy the ship. I don't know why it does that, but it works on almost all the ships except for the one where you have to fight 2 at once, because you can only do it for one ship. Anyway, the multiplayer. The balls that they have to ask that you play their shitty multiplayer that it took them a week to make.
And you want to know the funniest thing?
What's that?
Is that they had the audacity to try to charge people $10 for this if they bought it used.
Are you serious?
It's like it never feels like it's my fault. It never feels like I do anything different. Here, I'll get the guy back here. The motherfucker's going the opposite direction. Just get him when you want. It never feels like it's my fault. It feels like it's kind of like random. Like if shit happens or shit doesn't happen. This might be the most boring stream ever, honestly. Because like what you just saw, like the last 10 seconds, that's going to be the entire stream. We both ran for it. I want to be done with this. Like that's the thing I had next to my notes. Okay. Probably everybody wants to know about the multiplayer trophy. How bad is it? I still have a little bit. Hang on. I'm going to finish it up. It's gone. It's done. Can you grind it? Like, is there a way to like make it easier? For me, it took 17 hours. If I did it again, probably 14 or 15. There's no way around it. You have to play a lot. You have to play a lot. The PS4 version of BioShock 2 had the decency to just remove multiplayer trophies entirely.
Thankfully.
But Ubisoft was like, but people love our multiplayer. Look how much they played it. Wolfpack is by far the best way to do it. You can do it by yourself. You're not dependent on other people. You can do it by yourself. And the XP gains aren't that different with more people. They really aren't. Because depending on how well you do is how much points you're going to get. So it might even be easier if you're by yourself, because you're only going to have to take on 1 or 2 guys. You don't have to worry about other people messing up the approach bonus. But that being said, 17 hours for 1 trophy, because you got to get to the max level.
Like, this is a game that feels like but they would let people in jail play, and they forced them to play it as punishment for whatever they did.
It wasn't too bad, but there were moments when I was doing it, I was like, why am I doing this? Like, why does it have to be 17 hours? How about 10? How about 5? How about 1? You know? But hey, you know, you buy the ticket, you take the ride, you gotta do it. So let's talk about Pirates, let's talk about the story. So I don't want to spoil it too much, but one thing I really liked about the story, I thought it was a big point in its favor. The game takes place over a course of like 6 or 7 years, maybe like 10 years. It's somewhere around there. How about 0 minutes of multiplayer? Yeah, that could work too. Yeah, just fuck multiplayer. I wonder how much money they actually made from this multiplayer. There's got to be a figure somewhere that lets them know, like, between people buying the credits, like the microtransactions, like they probably made a couple $1 million just from the multiplayer, you know? I mean, hey, get that money, whatever. Buy a new Eiffel Tower. That's a joke because they're French. What was I going to say? Yeah, so the game takes place over the course of like 6 or 7 years or 10 years. I don't remember. If you include the epilogue, it's probably like close to 20 years. But like the golden age of piracy wasn't that long. So the golden age of piracy came after like wars between the colonial powers in the New World. So like Spain, Portugal, France, England. And one of the ways they fought each other was they essentially paid people, like privateers, to like attack other ships. Like they would be like, "Hey, attack them. We won't send anybody after you, and you can keep whatever. You can keep whatever you plunder. You can even kill people. We don't care, you know." And once they kind of brokered peace between the powers, they're like, "Yeah, we don't need you to do that anymore." Well, it's not like these guys had jobs lined up just in case, you know. They were like, "I don't know how to do anything else. Fuck it, I'm just gonna be a pirate." And that lasted for about maybe 2 or 3 decades, like, and that's stretching it. So this game takes place over like the Great Age of Piracy, and one thing I love about it is that I think it tries to present an even-handed view of what it was actually like to be a pirate. So it's not really shown in the game, but it kind of sucked to be on like a British or a Spanish or a Portuguese ship. Because what they did is they basically put the bare minimum manning they could so they could have as many ships as possible. So you were working your ass off if you were on an English, Spanish, or Portuguese ship. They had like the bare minimum. And if one guy was sick because of like yellow fever or whatever, it's, you know, people got sick back in the day before like modern medical science. All of a sudden you're getting like 4 hours of sleep at night because you gotta be in the crow's nest, you gotta be on guard, you gotta all this crap, you know. So life on a pirate ship, comparatively speaking, was a bit easier because they just took on whoever they could, and you always wanted to have people in the fight. You roll up in a similar sized ship and you've got 100 people and they've got 20, they might not even want to fight. They're like, "Yeah, we just give up. Here, take some of our rum, please, and let us live." But one thing the game does is it shows the life of a pirate as a romantic tragedy. I wrote down romantic tragedy in my notes. There's a big theme of freedom that runs through Assassin's Creed 4. Edward, even though he doesn't say it, he desires freedom for himself and possibly freedom from his marriage. He doesn't want to be tied down. He wants to go where he wants, do what he wants, and just do it however the hell he wants to do it. Which is kind of the spirit of the pirate in this game anyway. But very quickly, that freedom costs a lot. Like, with that freedom, you're living in essentially a lawless town that's barely functioning with no medical supplies. Like, it's a rough existence. Pirates didn't have the easiest existence. Like, they were free and they had freedom, you know, especially comparatively speaking, but it was a very short life, and you're constantly being hunted down by these like huge colonial powers that are nothing to sneeze at. You take any pirate ship and like, in reality, you take a pirate ship and you go up against a man of war, the man of war is going to destroy it like every time. Like, the resources at hand with these colonial powers, like, there's a reason the Great Age of Piracy only lasted a couple decades. Through the course of the game, and I'm not going to give him too many spoilers, Edward basically loses everything that made him who he was in the beginning of the game. about midway through the game, who Edward is and what he has and what he believes in is completely new, has completely replaced the old way he saw things. He essentially trades away everything that he is for this freedom granted to him by being a pirate, including the lives of people dear to him. And the new friends he makes, the pirates, are kind of cast aside or lost. Only Edward and Anne Bonny at the end of the game are the only ones still alive. Everyone else is dead. And none of them really died none of them died old in their beds like Betty White. They all died in pretty horrific, violent ways. Even Blackbeard. Like, in reality, Blackbeard, he got his fucking head chopped off, and they hung his head from the front of a ship, you know? I mean, it's the kind of life you live. That's the only kind of end you can really hope for. You're not going to die an old man, you know, warm in your bed. You're going to die, you know, under gunfire. So in a way, the pirates are presented as these lovable rogues. The more violent actions of pirates are kind of glossed over, but the consequences for living that lifestyle are explored, and it's like, hey, this is what happened, you know? Pretty much every big name pirate you've ever heard of ended a terrible way. Either they were hung from the galleys, they were publicly executed, they had their heads cut off and hung off the bows of ships. And it's kind of nice that Edward himself has a happy ending from what I can tell. I'm kind of shocked that he's not in chains. Because, like, I mean, everyone knew his name, and they called him by that name at the end of the game. So I guess he just paid the local magistrates off? I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is that even if you're successful, even if you are a good pirate, a pirate's life is a lonely one, even if you're at the top. By the end of it, it's only Edward and Anne Bonny that are alive, and they don't even stay together. Like, they have no future together. In the end, Edward goes back to his old life, because there's just no future in being a pirate. There just isn't. I also have a quote here by Blackbeard. I don't know if it's created for the game or something he actually said, but he says, "In a world without gold, we might have been heroes." It's a good game. The platinum, it's a good platinum. Despite multiplayer, despite the sheer amount of time it takes to complete it. Every Assassin's Creed game's got something. Valhalla had the cairns. 2 had the feathers. Odyssey had the DLC. I did the DLC. The DLC is fucking long. DLC is probably 40 extra hours. Origins had complete all locations. Black Flag had the multiplayer. Every Assassin's Creed got something that makes the platinum a bit painful. But overall, I'm glad I did it. And I'm glad I got the platinum. And that's it. That's all we got. Hey, it's Editing Kashmir. Going through it and looking over the footage and reflecting on my experience with Black Flag, I don't want to leave it like that. So, enjoy my favorite shanty, and very appropriate for finally getting the platinum and completing Black Flag. Enjoy.
I thought I heard the old man say, "Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Tomorrow ye will get your pay, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. Oh, the wind was foul and the sea ran high. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. She shipped it green and none went by, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. I hate to sail on this rotten tub. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. No grog allowed and rotten grub, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. We swear by our oath for want of more. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. But now we're through, so we'll go on shore, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her.